Okay, here we go. This is Mike's Revenge. My buddy Mike in Atlanta that DJs at nightclubs and does shows and stuff. I'm not a big fan of this type of music, but I will always plug their stuff. He also does drumline for the Atlanta Falcons and went to Georgia State for medical. The guy knows his stuff.
I think you're breaking up a little bit. It's hard to hear
you. Alright, I think that's good for fair use. So yeah, that was Mike that I was talking about. Does drumline for the Falcons and all sorts of good stuff up there in the Atlanta area. And the best Halo player as far as a partner that I've had ever. I mean, he knows what I'm doing before I do it. He's really smart and on target with things. And he's my sniper. So that's good. He shot a lot of people off my shoulder.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it is Easter Sunday, and I absolutely love it being Easter Sunday. The fact that we're still able to actually celebrate Easter, that we haven't had to take the crosses down off the churches yet. We haven't fully released the caliphate. The imam in chief is no longer there. It's that's a pretty good Easter in my view. I'm very happy about that. It's good, very much unlike South Africa, where, good God, the white genocide, I suppose, is going on. They're grabbing lands from farmers. You got all sorts of things going wrong down there. And looking at South Africa, it might be a microcosm, and Europe as well, of not a microcosm to them. To them it's happening. It's real. But we're over here in some kind of little bubble, we think. We think we think that we're isolated, but we're letting everything in. If you're letting everything in, you're not isolated anymore. And it's coming here next if we're not careful. You got people in the UK getting locked up because they had hate speech. What is hate speech? Well, hate speech, and I was listening to Steve Quayle earlier today, hate speech is the truth these days. So if you're if you're telling the truth, then that's hate speech. I don't know. That's crazy. Like, how is that? How are you getting locked up, sent to jail? Did you see the video of the guy that had his pug? He told him to Sieg Heil. Like, it's basically like a shake. And
Yep.
He's facing jail time now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Scotland is screwed. I mean, me and my family, we used to go to Scotland all the time, and
oh yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore. That's you don't know where the line is drawn anymore. So
and it's unfortunate too. I mean, and the whole history behind the Scottish cross and the flag and everything. I learned a lot of that from y'all, and
yeah,
I learned a lot of things from y'all. but what an amazing place that it used to be, and now you don't even have free speech anymore. But it should have been guaranteed by the Magna Carta.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's there are a lot of problems there, and really it's because the left is dominated. The left likes to say that the right is very authoritarian.
I mean, it's the regressive left. I've talked about this earlier, man.
It's the globalist left.
Yes,
that's what it is.
It's not even
it's the globalist left.
I don't know what you call it. The regressives. They want to hold us back.
They're masquerading as a group of tolerant people to promote their own international agenda.
But they're completely intolerant, because if you have any other view, then you get thrown in jail. And you could get killed in that jail, because a lot of people in that jail are ready to kill you.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. You get sentenced to jail, you get sentenced to death, because you're going to get killed in jail.
That's what happened with Tommy Robinson.
Yes, Tommy Robinson has been speaking out hardcore.
Islam.
Yes.
They're not assimilating. They have the mentality of an invading army. They're not getting more liberal as time goes on. Some are, but it depends on it largely depends on what was their nationality and what beliefs were they raised with. The younger kids are getting more conservative, not more liberal. All of the liberal assumptions about what would happen with Muslim immigrants are completely wrong.
I got two things
They don't want to
there.
admit it.
Two things on that. And one, Tommy Robinson's a hero. That guy's been on the show a lot. I mean, he got thrown in jail and almost got killed in jail himself, and he's been in and out and fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. He's like, man, I used to grow up, everything was fine. And now you got a mosque on every corner, and everybody's like giving me the stink eye everywhere I go. It's like, man, what the hell? I'm just walking around. I can't even go anywhere.
It's only a matter of time before
they're raping kids.
That's
what he's trying to stop.
They can try to shut out reality as long as they want, but eventually it's going to catch up with them. It really will.
So you think the truth will eventually catch up?
Yeah, it's eventually going to devolve into conflict, almost certainly.
Why does it have to go that far? That's my biggest issue that I've had in my head.
Well, I mean, what's the eventual conclusion when you have a group of people that has the mentality that they do, and they're coming over in such large numbers, and then they're breeding like wildfire with 3 different wives? Like, everyone in India sees the writing on the wall. That's why they voted for Modi. And people in the UK are just too naive. They just don't get it. They're like, we're a nation of immigrants.
Well,
no, you're not. Not a nation of immigrants.
And that's
you are 100% not a nation of immigrants.
And that's kind of
like you're a nation that's getting ready to be fucking beyond colonized. You're about to be ethnically cleansed, and you don't even realize it.
And that's one of their ways of doing the jihad, basically just overtaking numbers so that you have the numbers and it doesn't matter anymore. But and also we're kind of the same way in that we feel like, yeah, we're a nation of immigrants, yeah, man. But look at what's going on in Europe. Pretty soon we won't be able to talk at all or say anything at all because that'll be hate speech. And the truth is hate. And that's part of what I was saying too. When I was trying to even define who these people are, the regressive left, and they call themselves progressive. Progressive? That's the opposite.
Like, you see,
it's Satan. It's Satanism. It's upside down world.
This is going to be really non-PC, but a lot of people really have questions about why large Jewish organizations, for example, would support mass migration from the Muslim world. And they know what's going to happen.
It's the globalists in league with it. It's not all the Jewish. It's the globalists that are in league with it, that are like at the high levels of banking.
I think what it is it's not all Jews.
Right.
But it is almost all Jewish leadership.
It's whoever signed on to that system, that globalist system, whoever signed on to it.
Not entirely true. That's not entirely true because Israel does very non-globalist protectionist things. They have a very.
I'm not talking about Israel.
They have a very anti-immigrant policy.
I know Israel's watching its ass. I wasn't talking about Israel.
Well, I think this is the reason why Israel is related to this is because primarily of large Jewish organizations that have a large amount of funding. And they're the ones that are opening the door primarily to Muslim mass migration. They're the ones that are conflating the sort of stuff with hate speech, and if you don't like Muslims,
to unleash the chaos, to unleash the caliphate. I mean, basically,
I think in part, yes, I think that's it. But I think most importantly, like, they're targeting the nations where there are a lot of Jewish expats. They're targeting the nations where a lot of Jews live. A lot of Jews are very well settled in Western countries, and I think this is a deliberate approach to get Jews to go back to Israel, because Jews aren't going to stay in a country that's hostile to them.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be very long before it's hostile to everybody. If the West falls, it's over.
It's hostile to everybody that's not a Muslim, but it's particularly hostile towards Jews. And
we're trying to be nice.
It's not going away in the future. It's existed for a long time, and there are a lot of reasons for it. And the state is not going to be able to keep that under control. And what's going to end up happening is a lot of Jews are going to make Aliyah. And I think that may be the goal.
I cannot see how they would merge with something like that because, for one, we kind of support Israel. We understand that Israel is over there building a wall around itself, watching its ass. We got it. Look, we need to watch our own ass as well. And we need to be able to take care of ourselves. And eventually, if we start enough of these plants and companies back up again, we make it where we depend on ourselves only, which I think we should do, because I don't know where it's going to go. And it might take a little while for that to happen, maybe a little too long, but we're going to try to make sure trade keeps going regardless. We want trade. We want to work with people, but if we can't, we need to be able to sustain ourselves. That's going to take a little while.
Well, we need trade practices that aren't beneficial to international finance.
Well,
we need trade
they
practices
can be beneficial to international finance, but at the same time, they need to be beneficial to everyone, including us. I mean,
that's right.
If it's not beneficial to us, what are we doing?
We need trade practices that don't just benefit the very wealthy globalists. That's what we need.
Absolutely. It needs to benefit everybody. And then we're talking about the little guys that are just getting it done, you know, that are just working on things. Like the flyover country that Hillary says doesn't matter in her last interview or whatever. We need it to benefit those people. We need it to benefit everybody that busts their ass. And
well,
like I said,
her, it's the United States is just the cities, and it's becoming more and more relevant. Like they're becoming more and more relevant politically.
Well, I think more and more people want to get the hell out of the cities and get off the grid because they're tired of their tax dollars going the wrong direction. But
yeah, I mean that's my feeling exactly. Like I don't want to move to the cities. People, you know.
I love the city. I like it, but damn, man, don't take all my money and spend it wherever you want, all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I don't need my dollars going towards your stupid bullshit. I was talking about that with our police merger, demerger, remerger, and then you got another merger and another demerger. We should have never merged it to begin with, and then it would have saved a lot of money for everybody. And the fact is, I think we needed to demerge it again, but damn, man, look at all these brand new vehicles going around. Good God. I'm sitting here like, man, look at that beautiful new car. Look at that beautiful new car. Look at that beautiful building over there they just built. It's amazing. But, and none of them do their job worth a damn either. Call in there one time and see what kind of service you get. Ha ha! Good luck. Good luck. And the main thing, going back though, when I was trying to figure out how to label or call, what do we call these people on the left? They call themselves progressive. Really, they are regressive. They are really regressive. They're sending us back to the Stone Age. I mean, you go on Google Earth, you look at a map, well, not Google Earth, but like where it shows the lights that are on at night, right? Go look at the lights that are on at night. Go to some of these countries that are over there in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. They are in the Stone Age, man. They don't have it. They have nothing.
Well, they believe that
they're running around with swords.
The only reason why those people are any different is either because they were taken advantage of, or they just didn't have the right stuff to begin with to give them the same level of progression that we've had, which
that's part of it.
Completely wrong.
That is part of it.
Completely wrong. It's culture and society is downstream of biology.
Well,
and it's not just a matter of having a lack of resources. A lot of Western countries have had a tremendous lack of resources too. A lot of Western countries have been colonized too. The difference is how do different creatures react under those circumstances.
If I were a girl, I guess, and had my clitoris cut off when I was a girl and grew up under that kind of situation, I don't know what kind of person. I'd be a maniac. If I was a boy and I got raped when I was 3 years old or 5 years old, yeah, I don't know if I would grow up with a very good mindset. You got people running around with swords, going around and chopping people's genitals off and chopping heads off, and that's not the way that we live over here in the West.
I can tell you that a lot of the smart ones, I can tell you from experience, the smart ones come here illegally. The dumb ones just kind of float around and do nothing. And the problem is that yeah, you might know a few really smart ones, but the problem is that those really smart ones are exemplar of like the top maybe 10 to 15% of that population. That there is so much consanguinity in the Arab populations as a result of part of the practices of Islam. There are a lot of problems. There are a lot of biological problems with,
there's some
people who are genetically Arab.
There's some inbreeding that has gone on as well that you have to.
That's what I'm saying is that the amount of inbreeding is pretty breathtaking actually, and it's because of that cultural practice. And that's a biological thing. That that whole region used to be the primary product of like intellectual material.
It was a bastion of civilization. It was there. It had it. The Phoenicians and they had the language. They made it, and the Greeks and
that's right.
Constantinople. All of this beautiful culture and everything else, and you can't even go over there. I was actually just mentioning to my mom the other day. We were watching Ratatouille. You know that movie Ratatouille, where like the chef has the rat. He's not a very good chef, but the rat's a very good chef. But nobody wants to eat the food from the rat, so the rat kind of teams up with the guy, and the guy makes the food, and it's good. All right. But they're in Paris, right? He's like, hey, it's my apartment. It's not much or whatever, but it's got like a view of the Eiffel Tower and all over Paris, and it just makes you want to go there. Like, oh man, Paris, that'd be so cool to go see that. And the rat's looking over the city while the guy's asleep in his apartment. And the rat's like, oh man, this is awesome. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, this is awesome. And would I want to go there now? Would I want to go to Baalbek, Lebanon right now and see those huge blocks that are there that weigh how many hundreds of thousands? I don't know. I mean, you can't move them around. Nobody can move them around today, but they put them there perfectly back then. But you can't go to the ancient sites anymore. You can't even go to Paris. Really, that's turned into a hellhole. It's like, damn it, man! You can't even travel around anymore. Like you were saying, you don't want to go to Scotland anymore.
That's right.
It's ridiculous. Why are these places getting like that? Well, it's because they've released the caliphate, basically.
Well, they've released a bunch of
Stone Age people that don't understand how to be the part of the West, not the West.
Part of it is that they've started to conflate being a migrant with being a refugee. And these people come from shitholes, and again, this gets back to the whole idea that everybody is created the same, and we all have the same capabilities, and we're all capable of the same things, and we all have the same behavior. That's patently false. And
wait, before you go, I think we are kind of capable of the same stuff, but if you get brought up pretty bad, you're going to have problems. And you need to have family and parents promoted. You need to promote more of that, because the less of that you have, I mean, you're going to have some messed up kids, and that's what we're getting even here in the States.
There, to a limited degree. To a limited degree, people's actions are governed by their environment, but most of it is genetic. Most of it, the vast majority of stuff that goes on in your brain is predetermined. The vast majority of it. And that
predetermined, really?
That's the vast majority of behavior.
I don't know, man. I was saying earlier when I was playing baseball live, that word triggered, I had not heard that until 2015. What the hell you mean triggered? What is triggered? Because I'm at the controls, man. I can do whatever, whenever. It's up to me to choose what I want to do and what I want to not do.
Well, triggered, liberals use it.
Triggered? Like what the fuck?
Triggered, what triggered originally meant was for someone who had PTSD. And in the victim culture, that's everybody. So triggered was when somebody had PTSD and something happened and would set off their PTSD.
Hey, don't get me wrong, though. I have utmost respect. I would not want to be in any kind of combat situation. I have respect for the veterans all the way.
Not about combat. That's not where it came from.
But also, you can have that from from, like I was saying, being treated badly as a kid in one of these countries. I mean, like I'm saying, what if you know you're a girl and you got your clitoris cut off at 3 years old or something? You know,
Well,
I think I'd be a little post-traumatic. What the hell going on there too? I get that. That's completely legitimate.
But that's not what's happening. You have all these frail, fragile snowflakes that are getting PTSD over microaggressions. That's what's happening.
That's it, right. If I say something that's a little bit wrong, or you might want to call it some hate speech, then you get all butthurt. No.
And they do that because then they have leverage over you, and then
there's a difference between that and serious stuff, though, and they're making it one and the same, and that's not cool, and that's very disrespectful to people that have had those kind of traumatic experiences in their lives.
No, but they want it. They want it so that they can, number one, they can be different from people, but also so that they can have something over people.
Oh yeah, look at me, I got hurt. Me too.
Yep.
Oh.
Look at me, I get hurt. Oh, don't you say anything. Don't you say anything or you're a bad person. Oh, you want to keep saying something? Well, then let me bring in the authorities. Let's get the authorities involved now.
Well,
that's what it amounts to. Right-wingers aren't the authoritarians. It's the fragile snowflake left.
Well, when you try to shut people's speech off and try to shut them up instead of inviting our side in general, and I don't call us right and left. Again, that to me is not. It's common sense, man. When we have issues or something, we invite people to a debate. We talk about it. We try to figure it out. The people on whatever side I call them the regressives. The people that want to send us back to the Stone Age, they won't let you talk. They'll shut you off. They'll shut you down. Like, no, you can't talk about anything. Screw you.
That's authoritarian. That in and of itself is authoritarian.
Yeah, that's very Hitler. That's literally Hitler, like they like to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't know. And again, I call them regressive, and they call themselves progressive. And I think they call themselves progressive because they are inverting everything, upside down world Satanist style. Take the crosses off the church, burn it all down, burn the books, delete the videos, all of it. That is modern day book burning, when you're starting to shut people up and keep them quiet. And if they don't, China has a social score. So if you don't post the right things on social media, or you start to go a little sideways, then guess what? Your social credit goes down.
Yep.
Whatever the hell that is. You talk about authoritarian.
These people really aren't. I think they're not as common as we're led to believe. Like, there are a lot of them out there, and it's a lot of people that are mirroring the behavior that they see. But the people that are really calling the shots are the institutions. It's the financial institutions. The financial institutions are really the ones that are responsible for this.
It's AstroTurf. A lot of it, I'm talking from the backside here for a second, but Soros is busing people, sending people into a lot of these things. This Hogg guy, he's completely supported by CNN and all these companies. He's pushing a narrative that they want to push. That's it. Soros buses these people in. They make it look like a big march. They're all very fascist. They shut down speech left and right.
Yep.
And
well, they're not fascists.
Well,
they're not fascists. What they really are is authoritarian communists.
Authoritarian communists. That's actually a very good way to put it. And Soros does. He puts all this money in to make sure that we fall apart. That's what he's doing. It's all AstroTurf. It's reported by the mainstream media as real. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because they're funded by the same people. But it's frustrating to watch anybody believe it. I have to fight every day to tell people no, they're full of shit. And some people still watch and be like, yeah, that's happening, that's true. No. The same people at the last march, were also at the women's march. They were the same people. They're still there. They get 4 people they get the 4 people, also the 4 kids, and they put kids in front as a shield, and that's dastardly to me. I can't believe.
Right.
Who the hell puts a kid in front of themselves saying, "Oh no, you're bullying me. Don't shoot when you talk. Don't say anything. Don't talk. This is a kid. You know, you can't talk about a counterpoint. No, it's a kid, man. That's bullying." You put a kid in front of yourself when you're going into battle? What's wrong with you?
Well, they don't have a point. So they don't have a good point. They know that their point is not valid. So they can't fight with you on equal footing. So they have to resort to all these. They have to resort to all these dilatory tactics.
Man, when you put a kid in front of yourself going into battle, there's something off. And then you're the one that's saying that you're standing up for the kids, while at the same time you're supporting mass abortion. Mass abortion.
Well, to them, a fetus
unreal.
is just flesh. It's not real yet. It's just, to them, it's an unliving thing, and that is debatable.
That has already started to come into fruition. You have no right to stop it. Nobody has any right to stop that. That is going to be a living being. Now, I understand there are rare cases and things here and there. All right, I get it. But for the most part, no. You cannot take that right away. That is going to be a life. And you cannot take that away from somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No matter most situations, no.
Well, I have different feelings about it. I mean, part of me is like, yes, it's a life, but part of me is also like, the vast majority of these people who are doing these sorts of things already have they already have a mentality that they are genetically predisposed to have.
Oh, it's one of those like they don't care and they don't care and they don't give a damn, and then the kid's gonna be there and the kid's gonna get raised in one of those situations where they get all messed up on the way up.
You got it.
And the kid's not gonna have a life anyway.
I don't care. Like
me, I think everyone has a chance, and you can't take it away. You cannot take it away. That's me.
Well, they're gonna get their way come hell or high water because the powers that be are very much all about regressive leftist beliefs. It's the powers that be are all about it, and that's what the pawns, the foot soldiers, don't realize is that they like to talk about speaking truth to power, and they like to talk about capitalism, and they like to talk about this shit. They don't realize the people that make their beliefs come to fruition. They don't get it.
Yeah.
Like they're just good little unthinking foot soldiers.
If you really want to go after the really top percent, go after the people that are feeding you your talking points.
That's right.
Go after them.
Exactly.
That's the top of the top. That's the people that are actually spending the money. I'm talking billions.
It's all the people that they espouse to revile.
Right.
Those are the people that
you hate the boss man. Well, there he is, sweetheart, and you're saying the exact same thing he is.
Yep.
Hey, you really hate the boss man. There he is, buddy. Let's go. I don't like him either. Come on. Can we reach some common ground here?
I think the ultimate outcome is basically what Black Pigeon Speaks said. It's that the West is going to deteriorate into it's gonna deteriorate until it balkanizes.
Balkanize? No, that's their goal, man. We will not balkanize. That is their goal. That ain't happening.
No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because let me give you a story that I saw yesterday. So we were at this. We went to this.
I'm about to play. Kim, sorry, keep going.
We went to this. It was an Easter event, and it was basically a passion play. Like it was retelling the events of the Last Supper, the crucifixion, and the resurrection.
Agony in the garden, take up the cross. Get it.
So what ended up happening was, there were Black people there were white people there were a lot of Hispanics because they're still largely Christian, very religious
Love
group
me
of
some
people. But
Hispanics.
you know, the actors, there were not many black actors. There was one black actor, and you know, this was done at a school.
That's traditionally how the play is, though. I mean, traditionally, all the movies I've seen, whatever. I mean,
Well,
if they're black or if they're not black, it doesn't really matter.
Right? Like if you're at a university that's mostly white or mostly Hispanic, like you go with who you can find.
Right.
You don't go with, well, you know, I want 30, 30, 30 across.
And
the
honestly,
board.
let's think about it. If Jesus is in Nazareth and Jerusalem, he's probably a dark-skinned character. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a bunch of Sephardic Jews playing the parts and a bunch of Italians
Right.
playing the Romans. But
He's
but,
closer
you know,
to the
this isn't
equator.
perfect world. So
Yeah.
anyway, you know, it just stuck with me that, you know, the first thing one of the kids said was, "I only see one." This was coming from a black person. I only see one black actor.
Is that really the first thing you think about? Come on, man.
It is.
It's not
These people
about
have been
that.
so racialized. This is what people don't get.
I was saying
Like-
that like 10 years ago, and then it started in. I was saying that during my live video. It started in 2008 with Barack Obama because I was a
well,
racist for not voting for him at that point. And like, look, man, yeah, I never had any problems with anybody when I was in high school. From 98 to 02, I didn't care if you were black, white, whatever. I mean, you know, we didn't care if we were whatever color we were. Nobody cared. Do you think anybody cared what color anybody was while I was in?
To notice it a lot less back then. We did, for sure.
We didn't
Like,
care. Lamar,
I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it when I first started talking to Jonathan, for example. Like,
yeah, Lamar, Jonathan, Quentin, they were all just one of us. It's whatever, man. We're all
Yeah.
just people.
but now it is on the forefront of everyone's mind, and that's what I mean by balkanization. Like, when you have that kind of awareness, it starts to become.
That's it. And I think they put it there. They put it there,
Yep.
and it started. I think it started with Obama. He put it there.
I think there's some truth to that.
They pushed. Hey, it's because he's a black guy, man.
Well, the other thing that they wanted to do
I don't even know
was
if
say
he's fully
that
black. He might be
they're-
like a half black. I don't even know.
Well, okay.
I don't know what's
They did
going on.
this. You know why they did this, right? The whole reason was so that another Democrat would win the election.
My
That's what it's
issue was
about.
I didn't care. I just didn't like his policies. You know, like
I'm
what
telling
if?
you, the regressive left is all about the identity politics, and they played that up in the run up to this election like unbelievable.
Well, yeah, you saw the woman card. Woman, woman, woman. There's a
Well,
YouTube
they-
clip of that of
I-
Hillary
I-
going crazy on woman, woman, woman.
Mhm.
Like, all right, baby. I know you're a woman. I don't like your policies. I did it again.
You know, I used to not care if somebody was a woman. Now I'm paying a lot more attention to it.
I still don't care. Well, you know, unless we're going to bed or something. Good God.
But I mean, you know, this is what they don't get. It's some sort of weird psychological thing that they just can't see. They don't understand. The left cannot understand why they are the cause of the right reacting in the way that they are.
Yeah, I don't
get
care.
it.
I don't care what you got going on downstairs. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're green, purple, blue, pink. If you're in there, you better have the right policies trying to help us out. If you're not with the right policies trying to help us out, I'm not going to support you. No matter what color you are. You could look exactly like me. It's like, yeah, all right, that guy's not right. Let's not do it. You know, I'm not going to support somebody that doesn't try to do things that are right for the people.
Yeah, I think a lot of crazy things are about to happen in the West. I do, and you know, and the arrogance of the progressive left is also along the lines of, you know, when they say things
Regressive.
like we've seen the end of warfare. Modern man is waking up from war. Like, the fuck you say?
No.
And they really believe this because they believe that white Europeans are responsible for the vast majority of war in the world.
I think that's where that came from, because I'm sure that. Oh man,
Let me tell you.
my granddad watches the TV, and he had one of these guys that said, "Oh man, it's just Good thing there was a war, because there's a lot more people that dead now because it would be overpopulated. That's a very globalist view, and that's one of these views that's absolutely false, because we have the resources. We can support everything. We have things that are black shelved, free energy machines black shelved. We have things that are there that we're playing with in the government that we don't get access to. It's all there. We could support population. The land is there. It's all there, baby. And I'm telling you, that's not the answer, just to kill a bunch of people and fund both sides and, make a whole lot of debt and a whole lot of money and all this. It's horrible. War is horrible. No, no, no. And this guy,
people that say that sort of stuff are really, really ignorant.
No. He's not ignorant. I mean, he's just...
No, he's very ignorant. There's a lot that he doesn't know. This person that says that sort of stuff, like, they don't know.
He's a hero. He's a hero that's just kind of been misguided, I think. He was in the Korean War. He chopped people's arms off in the middle of... He was a medic. He chopped people's arms off in combat and sewed them up so that they still lived and got them the hell out of there. He was... This guy's a hero. And that's my granddad. And... But to make a statement like that, he's missing a little bit, because he thinks it's overcrowded. I guess we're around, because it is getting more crowded around the cities, around where we are. It's getting more crowded. Yes, it is.
Why is it getting more crowded? Because it's not whites.
Well,
whites are not reason for that.
I'm not talking about white, black, anything like that. I'm talking about it is getting more crowded, yes, but also we're expanding, right? People are moving out to Pooler. People are moving out farther. We have the resources to do all of this stuff, too. Everything's there. It's all there. We can tap into it. We can do anything. What's really going on is we're being held back.
You did, because when you get to a certain point of economic prosperity, people quit having kids. Like, that's why the population is shrinking in Europe. People have stopped having children.
That's right. And that's exactly it. He actually asked me, we got like 300 million in the world, not in the United States, I guess. I think that's right, isn't it? Around 300 million? 350?
Yeah, it's a little bit over 300 million now.
Okay. So he's like, what do you think we're going to have when you get to be about 60 or 70 years old? Like, in other words, in 40 years. So I was thinking to myself, it depends on what we do. And that's what I said. It depends on what we do. If we release the caliphate, it's going to be crazy. If it continues the way it is, we're actually a dying country right now, because it's very hard. It's hard on everybody to even do anything. Have a family, have everything you want to have, and do the things you want to do. It's difficult now, and it's being more and more difficult, being made more and more difficult by the government for the most part. Mm-hmm. Good Lord. My wife's up in Atlanta. She won't move down. She don't know it yet. She don't know it. That's okay. She knows it. She knows it already. But if she stays in Atlanta, hell, I'll never marry her. I'm trying to find somebody else. Can't really. I don't know. You got to really connect with somebody. You got to be there. I don't know. She's kind of moved off the connection that we had too. So it's been a long time. So. I definitely got to keep the searchers open. But as far as having a family and doing everything that I would like to do, to break down the family, man, that's real. Yeah. That's real. Because it's harder and harder to live. Harder and harder to live. When you're paying the rent that I just paid just to rent, I could buy a house for that. Do I really want to live here, though? Unless we turn this place... And I don't even want to say turn it red, because that's a false paradigm. Again, I don't know. If we can turn this place red, and by red I mean really go the correct direction on that and not regressive, maybe this is the right place to be. But right now I'm with Home Slice. I don't know. Go to Florida. And even turning it red, you don't know that they're going to be...
I don't think there's any going back, man. I really don't.
You have rhinos, right? Republican in name only. in name only. The Republicans are the ones that always fought for rights for everybody, for the people, tried to free the slaves, all of it. That's the Republicans, used to be. Now, you got a Freedom Caucus, and then you also got half the Republicans and all the Democrats. And that's pretty much what you got. And like I say, I just call them the regressive left. They are all in it, even the ones that are red.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that, but what do you call it? Do you think
it's a half truth to say that the Republican Party is really the party to free the slaves? I mean, if you look back through history, like,
you're right, it's shifted. The Democrats kind of shifted a little bit. Everything shifted.
You ever heard the term blue dog Democrat?
A little bit, but explain it.
So a blue dog Democrat. So after the Civil War, right? Like Abraham Lincoln was the party was the head of the Republican, was the president that was nominated on the Republican Party.
Right.
Now
he wouldn't have freed a slave if he had a choice. He said it.
Well, that's very true, but you know he freed the slaves as a war measure.
Yes.
Now, the problem is that the abolitionists of New England were primarily Republicans. Now, a blue dog Democrat is a conservative Democrat from the South, and those guys stayed Democrat after the Civil War. And it wasn't until probably like the 70s and 80s that blue dog Democrats started to go away, and people started to switch parties into the Republican Party. And it was because, you know, the Republicans became more conservative towards the middle of the century. So you know, that was primarily like at the time of you know, it really an inflection point was at the point of the Cold War.
Right. Right, where it switched. I mean, it did. You ever heard of Dinesh D'Souza? You ever listen to him? He talks about
I'm
how...
familiar with him. I've seen some of his movies.
He talks hardcore about how it switched, where like a lot of these Southern Democrats became Republicans in the middle, and it's not because of any kind of I don't know, I guess platform difference. Basically it is they support a platform, and the Democrats started shifting to the other platform, and the Republicans shifted to the other platform.
That's right.
And they basically continue to support the same platform, but now the Republicans were behind it instead of the Democrats. That's pretty much what happened. And that's what Dinesh D'Souza, he talks about that a good bit in some of his discussions.
Yeah.
As for myself, I continue to call it the regressive left, and everybody else that has a little bit of sense. I wonder why. And going back to JFK, who was going to bring us out of Vietnam, he was going to take control of the money outside the hands of the bank. He was going to start doing the silver dollars, and he wanted to keep the people safe and pull us out of wars and stuff, and kind of be good with everything. And yeah, hey, no, that didn't fit the agenda. LBJ would dance, though, old Lyndon Johnson. And as soon as he got in there, he said, I'll keep these N-words voting Democrat for the rest of their lives. I'll keep everyone voting Democrat.
And do you know what it was?
It's keeping them on the plantation.
Say that?
Huh?
You know what it was that made him say that?
Mm-mm.
It was handouts. Welfare. Guns and butter.
Yeah. And that's it. You never take a handout. You never take anything. You just keep fighting for everything. It's not that way anymore because, yeah, you don't grow up that way anymore. It's different from when I grew up. Even now it is. golly, any kid that grows up right now, there's technology all around them. I wonder if we're getting watched by the, I don't know, by anything else, aliens or whatever. Like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with it? Are they going to succeed, or are they going to use it for bad purposes? And of course we're using it for bad purposes, and that's why we continue to be held back, I think. Why do we just do it for bad things? Why don't we, like, expand ourselves and get better? No, we just keep on holding everyone back and choking everyone down. It's crazy. What do you think's at the Vatican?
You know, I don't know. I'd like to know what's in the Vatican Library. I'm not sure.
They're never going to open it up to the public, that's for sure. I'd like to know. I mean, they should at least post it online. Whatever's in there, just post it.
I think they've got some dirty finances.
Well, I think they have knowledge of a lot of things. Why do they have this thing called Lucifer that's looking up into the sky?
What?
You haven't heard of the Lucifer telescope thing? Their observatory? No. Let me see if I can Google it real quick. I didn't even plan on going this direction with it, but I mean, the Vatican's got a lot of stuff and knows of a lot of things. Lucifer telescope. Yeah, Lucifer telescope, Vatican. All right, Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope. Alice P. Lennon Telescope. And where's this facility? Mount Graham International Observatory. Where the hell's that? It's southeastern Arizona's mountains. I don't know. That's just something that just randomly came out.
Vatican Observatory?
Vatican Telescope, yeah.
Like they're funding it, or what?
I mean, they have it. It's there. They're watching the sky pretty hard.
In Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And have been for quite a while. Always have been.
Well, I mean...
And I think the Vatican knows some things, and that's why there's still a strong seat of power between that and England and the United States. And there's other places as well, but what I want...
Sorry, go ahead.
What I want to happen is to actually industrialize these other places and make it where they have the comforts of home, I guess. So they're not in the Stone Age anymore. And if they're not in the Stone Age anymore, maybe they'll figure out that, hey, chopping heads and cutting clitorises and testicles off is not the best idea. Maybe we can actually get together and, you know, make something cool and do some cool stuff and expand.
Don't be so sure. Don't be so sure.
That's what I want to happen, but it seems like what the globalists want to happen is the exact opposite of that, where instead they push everybody to go back to the Stone Age and they just break away into another civilization and they kill everybody else, just like it's written on the Georgia Guidestones. That's what it seems like they want.
I think part of the problem is that, yeah, liberals believe, well, I think a lot of people believe that, yeah, if you industrialize these people, they will, and modernize them, they'll start to take on the same beliefs that we will about ethics and morality, and that's false. I mean, if you wanna,
you really think so? You really think if they don't, like, just have a place where they can chill and everything's kind of nice, they won't just go around head chopping anymore? I mean, they would stop, right?
Well, maybe the head chopping. I mean, the head chopping is a thing of anger. But the female genital mutilation is something completely different. That is not based on anger at all. That's based on culture and tradition.
That's gonna mess up your culture. That's what that's gonna do.
Well, I mean, you know,
They chop it off so that the females don't feel any pleasure from anything. They keep the females down so hard, make them wear hoods over their heads and everything else. It's like, man,
Oh,
come on, dude.
You know,
You're supposed to treat your female like a queen. She is the queen. She's the guy. She's not the guy. She's the lady. She's it. And you know, you're her guy, and that's a power couple. That's what it's supposed to be.
Well, let me give you some examples about how our civilization is fucked up and perverted and barbaric. And they're things that are purely cultural.
That's what I'm looking for. A power couple, by the way. Hey, and you know, come on.
Like, you know, well, I mean, it's not as bad because it happens to a child right after birth, but male circumcision.
Yeah.
Now, of course, men have no memory of that because it's happening right when they're born. But you know, it's still a semi-violent thing. Another thing that
it's
is
not
really
it's not completely horrible though. It doesn't ruin your life or anything. It doesn't mess you
It
up.
doesn't ruin
forever.
your life.
It's like,
Yeah, it doesn't ruin your life at all. But I can tell you something else that's really fucked up is the way that we industrialize agriculture and treat animals.
Oh yeah, yeah, like chickens in
that's horrific.
cages and everything in little bins, and they're just moving them along, slitting the throats, getting them cured and put up there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's pretty horrific. Like we have, you know, what do? Well, they kill lambs and blah 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 blah. But I mean,
I've said that before.
My point is that as a counterexample, an advanced society can have very barbaric practices.
That's true, but we need to actually kind of slow that down a little bit because there's a push towards organic, towards cage-free, you know, things that can roam around at least. You know, you get the eggs from chickens that are not pinned in as much. You get chickens that are able to actually move around before it's slaughter time, that kind of stuff. And I understand hunting for meat and eating what you hit, but yeah, I don't like any kind of practices that keep animals pinned in cages in tight situations, and that does happen. It's horrible.
It's entirely feasible that a modernized, so-called a high technology Muslim society would continue their barbaric practices of female genital mutilation. They might not do it in the same ways. They might give a girl anesthesia.
Oh,
they might change some of their practices, but odds are it'll continue.
Well, they have no right to do that to someone who has no consent on that being a practice.
What makes you think that they would ever give women consent for anything?
That's exactly what they need to do, though. That's the issue that we have. Women are people, by the way. That's the issue. What the hell you want them to cover their face up for? What? They're people. You know, they should have the same freedoms you do. They can't drive a car. No, bullshit. They can't walk around without a man. Bullshit. Yes, they can. They're people.
You know, a lot of these things that women do in the Muslim world, believe it or not, are self-imposed. And
So
they will tell you
do
that
it?
they are happy about it.
They want to do it. Okay.
That's what they'll say. They will say that they want to do it. They want to wear the veil.
I've heard the argument about, and I went to a local Catholic school, and we had nuns. No, they were sisters. They were not nuns. It's different. There's a difference of some sort. Anyway, but they wore like the hood over their heads and stuff but not like over their face or anything. And they wore the outfit or whatever. And they chose to do it, though. They didn't have to do it. And I guess maybe that's kind of what you're saying, but, you know, hey, if you really want to, then you can. You're free to do that. That's fine. And also profess that, you know, your life goes straight to God. And that's fine, too. I feel like you can send your life straight to God and also do a lot of things, and they did, because they taught school. That's affecting young minds. So I just feel like that's a lot more free than whatever the hell's going on over there with chopping and hacking and forcing, and you can't force that on people. I think that's what I'm talking about. You cannot force anybody to go through any of that stuff. If somebody wants to, go for it.
Yep.
And I've always had, I don't know, has the space station crashed yet? I'm always looking over my shoulder, man.
Yeah, it's supposed to land in, like, I can't remember. I think they said, like, Italy, somewhere along the Mediterranean. I can't remember.
It's going to have a Star Wars landing. Is it going to hit the Vatican? Oh my God! On Easter. Oh
that would be funny, actually.
That would be epic. I don't want it to happen. No, I don't want it to hit anything.
At that point, you really have to wonder. I think God's trying to tell us something.
Well, God throws some rocks at you sometimes.
Yeah.
What? Some things from outer space? What do you think about the whole Nibiru thing?
No.
No?
There is a planet.
There's something out there, though. It's not Nibiru, but there's something out there, right? I mean, Caltech or one of the they said it was out there. Something. It's not Nibiru or whatever.
No, it's so cold on a planet like that. It's so far, a planetoid, whatever. It's probably a gas giant.
Well,
if they
have advanced space flight, they're fine. If they don't, they're not fine.
What?
If they have advanced space flight, they're fine. If they don't, then they're not fine.
Well, my point is that it's probably too cold for life to develop in such a place.
I think something got hit to create that asteroid belt. I think something did get hit. There's some truth there. And that's with every story. There's a little bit of truth in all of them. But I think something got hit to make that asteroid belt. That was going to be a planet, but it's not. Something happened.
That asteroid belt may have existed since the beginning of the solar system. It may not have always been a planet.
No, I think something got hit.
It may not have been a planet at one point, I guess is my point.
I think it was forming and it got hit.
Maybe.
And it got knocked. It's in the right location for the next planet up. So I think it got hit by something. Nobody knows. Nobody tells you in school because they don't know. That's the other thing. Golly, I want to defund the schools. Can we defund the schools until they stop being social justice warrior playgrounds?
Yeah, that's the thing is that they need to focus on things that are necessary for society.
Everything that you know, teach the kids. Everything that you know. Everything that you don't know, use what you know and work with the kids and try to find the answers to them the best you can. And then if you're not doing that, if you're only pushing social justice warrior bullshit, don't do it. Get the hell out of there. And that's a lot of the schools now are pushing a lot of garbage. I took a sociology class. Man, it was so weird. I mean, it almost turned me into a regressive.
That's one of the things that does it, is sociology. Yeah, for sure.
It's like, oh my God, was I treating this person too good because they had blonde hair and blue eyes? You know, I had to like look back at what I was doing. No, I wasn't. I'm treating them the same. I was back then, and I still was. It's just like it's like, dude, no.
I think it's the opposite now. I think people who have blonde hair and blue eyes are more likely to be treated worse.
Yeah, you get treated worse now. The same thing. Dude. And I had to think about it. Like, I was teaching, like, dang, man, did I mess up there? No, I didn't. I was treating him just like everyone else. That's what you should treat people like. Oh, God. That's so horrible. And that'll mess people up going into adult. And you know the people that are taking the teaching classes to get certified to teach? Oh my God. I took those classes. Wow. Wow, sir. Wow. That's all I can say. And then you also have the Common Core and everything else that's been brought in. Because you know, I thought the answer was education. That's where I was going to go. Let's fix it through education. Woo! Can't do it through the system, that's for sure.
No, you can never go into a system and expect to change it.
Nuh-uh.
Like, you have to
lay back and stay quiet for a long time, get yourself established, and then maybe.
Yeah, then maybe you can do something about it. But yeah, you're exactly right. Like, you have to wait around for a long time.
I don't have 20 years to wait around. We need this to happen now. Now. I'm very reasonable. God, people are off the meter. And I was also talking to Jonathan Schlazerbaster about what we were doing with the population thing. Yeah, I mean, I have to edit that probably. Oh man, that's all right. We're a long way in too. I could probably. Where are we? We're over an hour now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that little part.
Doesn't sound like an hour.
I really want to. Just the fact that they're taking crosses off the churches in Europe. And it's possibly coming here, and we're not aware of it coming here, and we're sitting there like everything's fine, because it was a beautiful day, everything was fine, but I just don't want everyone to get lulled to sleep. Alex didn't even have a show today. He took the day off and played repeats. That's why I was looking for a chat.
Yeah.
It's like, man, no, we cannot go to sleep. We cannot. It's all the time, every day. Caliphate's knocking. And not just the Caliphate, everything. The globalists. And these are all Soros funded. It's AstroTurf. It's like I said, but what's it going to take to wake everyone up to it? I think everyone is kind of aware of it, but they've been beat up so much over the last 20 years that they can't do anything anymore.
I mean, you're not going to have to convince conservatives of anything. The way that you're going to wake up liberals is to come at them from an angle that they don't suspect. And all too often when you do that, they lash out very violently. For example, like when a black person says that, well, you know, the Confederate flag doesn't represent slavery, blah, 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 they will react very violently to that, at the black person.
Right.
I have a friend of mine.
And in fact, it doesn't. It's got the cross of St. Andrew, and I'm sorry, keep going.
A friend of mine who is actually, you know, we talk about transgenderism and all this sort of stuff, but he's intersex. That is, he was born with an X, and a Y chromosome.
Okay.
So he is, when you talk about gender, not all people are XX and XY. He has XXY.
So, all right. So you got a guy that actually has legitimate story with the chromosomes.
That's right.
And then everyone else is blowing everything up and claiming they're this or that. 50-year-old guy saying he's a 6-year-old girl. This guy actually has 2 X's and 1 Y.
Yep, and he despises the progressive left. Despises it.
Regressive.
The regressive left. Yep.
That's right. I can't say that. Is Satanism.
For a variety of reasons, but part of it is for their authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he knows that he basically completely agrees with Jordan Peterson on the point of they are using them as shields to further their Marxist agenda, which is really what it boils down to. They are using people like him as a shield to clamp down on speech in order to further their Marxist agenda, which is 100% what it is.
Can we get this guy on?
He's getting ready to start a YouTube channel.
Can we get him on sometime?
Huh?
Can we get him on sometime?
We absolutely can. He's brilliant.
He'll chat with us? He'll chat with us? Not right now, I mean, obviously, but... Hello? You still there?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. No.
This guy is one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He'll
brilliant. Chat with us? He'll carry not right now, obviously, or anything like that, but we can get him on sometime?
He's getting ready to start his own YouTube channel where he goes out on YouTube, which should be really funny. YouTube will probably shut him down.
I'm moving to BitChute, man.
He's going to go after the regressive left.
I'm moving to BitChute.
So he said he fully expects to be shut down when he doesn't conform to the narrative.
I would love to have this guy on. Oh man, what a great! Anybody that's like just borderline intelligent that can talk with me for a little bit. This is great. Like, especially someone who actually is in that situation and doesn't like a lot of the bullshit that's going on. Oh man, that's the greatest.
He does think that they are trying to normalize pedophilia as well.
Right, and that's a continuation of the breakdown of the family. You normalize pedophilia in that. Well, there's no hell according to the Pope. There's no hell, so whatever. You just continue to push. Hey, you can rape little kids and what? That's Sharia though as well, right? Isn't it? Don't the crazy ass invaders isn't that what they do? They get little boys and they whatever.
I think there is that cultural tradition there. I really do.
But you can't do it with a grown man, otherwise you'll get killed.
No, they can do whatever they want. I mean, it's really backwards.
So if you do that with a grown man, you get killed. But if you do that with a little boy, it's okay. So in other words, you don't give a damn about that person no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't still be with them if they're a grown man. And not that I'm encouraging any of that. But I'm saying, man, if that's your leaning and you go towards that, how are you going to stop being with somebody? Man, that's like you just... Really? That's horrible. That's real bad. I can't even put. How do you put your mindset in that mindset? I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to have that person on. That'd be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting.
He's going to make YouTube, so he's going to make videos. He's ready to be on channels and talk to everybody. That's cool. I'd like to guest on his show or whatever he does. I'd be all right with that.
He's been very lucky because throughout his life he's had to take hormones to be normal, basically, or to appear normal. Now he's probably something in between. He's probably, based on his situation, which is very, very rare.
So he looks pretty normal. No, I'm just.
I mean,
I don't mean to make light of it. I'm just saying.
You would never know, but he's started to. His body is starting to reject, or it's not able to use the testosterone. Like it's not able to. So he takes injections, and his body is no longer able to absorb it like he used to. And as a result, like he's going to start to change. All of the soft tissue in his body.
Is he in his 20s?
He's in his 30s.
30s?
Now.
Okay.
Yeah. And so all the soft tissue is going to start to go away. Like his face is going to change. His feet are going to change. His hands are going to change. Like everything is going to start changing. And it's not something that
that he's not being deliberately transgender.
No. Okay.
The one interesting thing that he said was that he said what most of these people, like, when you know somebody that's going through this, the one interesting thing that happens is they feel like something is not right. They can't pinpoint it at all. He said the best way to get to understand what's happening is that it feels like they're missing an appendage.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And he said it's gone on. I mean, he didn't even know at first. His parents didn't tell him until later. But he started to feel this way when he turned 14, when he started to hit puberty.
Mm-hmm.
He started to feel something wasn't right. He couldn't figure it out, but it was like, hey, I feel like I'm missing an appendage.
That's crazy.
Now here's the kicker. He says that it causes a lot of depression.
Well, most likely, I'm sure.
He says, imagine like.
Well, I hope he doesn't take anything for that.
No, I mean, I think
Just fight.
At this point, it's like, what is he going to do? Is he going to have to? Because his body is changing on its own. Like, his body is transitioning without him wanting it.
Just go with it. Keep going. Fight.
Well,
and I don't mean physically fight when I say that. You know what I mean. He's going to make a YouTube channel and he's going to start talking. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know any conservatives that would lash out and call him a degenerate for having an X and a Y chromosome, which is something that he was born with.
Dude, that's what you have.
You know,
it's all right.
That's what you have. That was given to you by God, and you know, you are not degenerate for having to endure such a thing.
Absolutely not.
I think what conservatives hate is all this Jerry Springer shit. But he said a lot of people that you don't realize, like when you see a lot of these kids, and one of the symptoms is massive depression. When they are born with like an X and a Y, something like that. When they're born with the wrong chromosome combination, and then they have this gender dysphoria. A lot of it is, one of the big symptoms is massive depression. Now, the problem is today you can't tell what's real versus what's created by the TV. And that's a huge problem. So now you've got kids that, you know, they're 4 years old and they tell their parents, well, you know, I think I'm a girl. And then,
no,
you know,
that's bullshit.
If you refuse that kid hormone treatment, well, in the UK, you can have your kids taken away from you.
Really?
Which is insane. So
you can have your kids taken in the UK if you refuse hormone treatment to a 4-year-old that thinks there's something else. Come on, man. No. Look, you are what you are. Be what you are.
That's right.
It's not hard. Just kind of go with what you are.
So here's the other thing too.
This guy is what he is, and this guy is what he is. Go with what you are, man.
And you can't do anything about it. You can't change all, you know, billions of cells in your body to become an X and X or a Y or an X and a Y. It's when you're stuck with an X and Y combination.
Right.
You know, you do. Which way do you go?
And you have the consciousness, and you're in that body, at the controls of that body. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Go. Do it.
Yeah. Yep. Now, he did say he thinks a lot of the people that are in their late years, like their 30s, and they decide to transition, he thinks it's something else. It's a psychological dysfunction. It's not because they are born intersex. He thinks it's because they have a type of OCD where they are so.
This guy.
They're like.
Guy sounds.
They're kind of obsessed about their gender. Like
they think they're not living up to the expectations of masculinity, and they obsess on it. And
well, it's harder and harder to do that these days. You do the best you can in the ongoing destroying of masculinity. I mean, they are trying to destroy the males because that's exactly where you fight, and then you get all the females to hate the males as well. I mean, that's it, and then that's how you destroy the culture and everybody. They're trying to wipe us out. I know it. I see it. And you say, man, I don't know.
I think it's going to be a learning experience for the rest of the world. I think our society is going to collapse.
I heard Alex the other day, like, man, some days I just feel like going to a sports bar and getting like hammered or something. This is so bad. And I feel like that every frickin' day. But at the same time, you know, it's not every, I keep it together and I try to put it together to put it out there to actually wake some people up and get everybody together and get us where we can do something about it. Man, I would love to have this person on too. And when you talk about fighting things like that, and again, I say I'm at the controls. I'm the one fighting it. You're the one fighting it. He's the one fighting it. Everybody's fighting it because it's terrible. You know. And we're not all fighting the exact same things, but we're all fighting eventually. I think all the things click together. I mean, we're fighting the things that make it terrible to be anything. It's like, why are you a white male? Why are you this? Why are you that? Why? And then, oh, you can't have a family. You must be a loser. And then you got other things going on. And then you have, God, it's just horrible. And then this guy that's over here that's looking at the regressive left, talking about, oh, I'm this gender, I'm that gender, I'm a 6-year-old girl. And, and he's sitting there like, no, you're not. No, you don't even know what you're doing, you stupid son of a bitch. I mean, I'm sure that's what's going through his head. You know?
That's exactly right. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. A lot of it is people that are virtue signaling. A lot of it is people that are looking to be the centers of attention, especially on something like Tumblr. People that are looking to be a victim. You know, they can garner sympathy for themselves. They don't have to take accountability for their own actions.
It's like, hey, sweetheart, get up, keep fighting, get up, keep fighting. We're fighting too. Let's go. We got to get up. We got to keep fighting. Let's go. I mean, they don't do that. No, they virtue signal and hope for some sympathy so they feel better.
Well,
whatever, man.
They like the attention. They definitely like the attention, but a lot of it is about people doing stuff for you. It's about gifts. When
gifts,
you know, when
graphic image, that
no gifts, no GIBS gives me that.
Oh, give me that. Yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
I want that. Give me that.
Yep. When you're a victim, suddenly you become entitled to something.
I don't know. I've been a victim for quite a while, and I don't want any handouts. I just want to keep swinging away.
Yeah, most victims don't want a handout.
Hell with it. I just keep swinging back. And it'll end one way or the other. It'll end one way or the other. I think at the end of the day, we're all going to come together. We're going to get it done. It's going to work out, and we're going to win. That's what I think at the end of the... I think we're going to turn it back. I don't think you think we're going to turn it back. I think you think...
I don't think we are. I
think you think that we're going to lose.
I think what's going to end up happening is we are going to be a learning experience for the rest of the world.
Are they going to learn?
I think a lot of people will. Yeah, I think we'll be a learning example. I do.
There's already examples out there, though. That's
not like that. It's not gonna.
Europe, South Africa, those are there. I mean, they're there, man. You already see it. It's already there. It's happening.
No, man, this is going to be such a fucking catastrophe. Everybody's going to notice.
Everyone's gonna like, oh, really?
Yep. Like, and I think we're going to live to see it.
Oh my God, homie. I think everyone could live forever if things were done right. I really think we are. Immortal, whatever. It's your choice, basically. And I think we could do a lot of things right and not poison everything and mess everything up. That we could actually just do whatever we wanted forever. We have that prosperity. We have all of it. And we're fucking it up and throwing it. We aren't, but government is. And I separate ourselves from government at this point. Because as much I like Trump. That's the first ticket that I ever voted for.
Yeah.
Because damn it, I thought we had a chance. And we do. This is our last chance too. I was a Ron Paul guy in 2008. He got bullshitted by the media. It got spread all over the internet. Not enough eyes saw it, I guess. Enough people didn't see it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because he was up in those polls or deleted from those polls half the time on all the news channels.
The problem with Ron Paul was that he was way too ahead of his time.
Well, ahead of his time. We all are ahead of our time, I guess. Look, man, we need it to happen now.
He had levels of insight that allowed him to see things that were going to happen in the future, and people ignored him and they laughed at him because no one else saw it.
How do you not see that, though? I mean, damn, man, it's obvious.
No, it's not. It wasn't obvious to all the other politicians at the time.
Not obvious to all the people that are watching the things that destroy his poll numbers and all that.
He also here's what enables him to see things.
He's a little too much of a purist for me. I mean, he doesn't do the dirty stuff to get it done either. He's a nice guy.
That's right. That's right.
And that's also what hurts him. Unfortunately, I mean, it hurts me too.
What allows him to be such an effective prognosticator is the simple fact that he understands who controls the financial system.
Oh,
and
God,
that simple fact allows him to make very accurate predictions.
Well, you go back to the primary movie that your dad showed me called The Money Masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back and it says the primary reason for the Revolutionary War was the inability of the colonists to get control of the money outside the hands of George III and the international banksters. I call them banksters, not bankers. Banksters. Gangsters. The gangster banksters. The gangster banksters. And that's it. And we've always been trying to get away from them forever. And Ron Paul wanted to audit the Fed and end the Fed. And that is essentially what got him blackballed from all the TV.
Well, it wasn't just that. I mean, I think it was also he was a threat to the he was a threat because the Fed can change forms, but when you start going after the CIA and you start going after the defense establishment and you start going after all the things that enable the financial system in its current form,
all the alphabet agents
dominate society. Like once you undercut the institutions, like there's nothing left. And he was going to go after all the institutions that were pillars of the Federal Reserve System, and I think that's why they. If he had received any more support, he almost certainly would have been assassinated.
Not just alphabet agencies, the pillars of the Federal Reserve System. Absolutely. Yeah. Not just, but they all kind of are anyway. You just kind of name one, you already know. They're on board. Mm-hmm. For the most part. You know any that's not? I don't. I mean, they're all on board with that system, and they have to stay with it.
Well, the system, people that are ensconced in that system rightly attribute the system to having its virtues. There are some virtues. It's not all bad. The problem is the people who are really behind the system make it bad. You get some really devious, insidious people that are in it.
That's
That
it.
really
I've
make
had
it
this
bad.
conversation with a buddy of mine who was a younger buddy of mine too, like one of my best people that came up after me that was kind of leading some people back when I was doing online video games and stuff with a group. And basically what I said is it could all work. All of it could work. Even Peter Joseph's Zeitgeist, where you have centralized hubs and things moving things around, it could all work. But if the person in charge of it is corrupt and is gonna, push for power all the time, it's not gonna work.
That's right.
It's not gonna work. I mean, communism could work, socialism could work, anything could, even fascism could work. But the guy that's at the top in charge of it, monarchy, could work.
Yep.
But you got a bad guy at the top, it's not going to work. And that's why we
That's
tried
right.
to make a system here in the United States that even if that's going on, it would still work. And we're trying as hard as we can to keep it going right now.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why the United States was so effective is because it was rooted in a libertarian document, and you had checks and balances against a singularity of power, basically.
Right. And the president has got way too much power now. And I'm not a Trump hater at all. I like what Trump is doing. Trump's doing a great job. I worry about some things here and there. I didn't like the omnibus bill or whatever, but I think they would have forced it through anyways.
Yep.
Even overturned his veto, they probably would have forced it through. But I wanted them to force it through anyways to point out, shine the light on the cockroaches, so to speak. But
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we already know who the cockroaches are.
we already know. Well, we do. I want everyone to know. Like, hey, that's what I'm trying to do. But I like Trump being in charge, but the presidency has way too much power, and Trump really needs to use it before he gets out of there, and he needs to use it to downplay the power right before he gets out of there. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to win re-election, and I think that after he does, he's going to use the next 4 years. He's got a long-term plan, and I think right before he gets out, I think that's one of the things he's going to do. I'm calling it here right now in 2018. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Mark Cuban is set to run against him, so we'll see.
No, Trump's going to win.
It would be a tough match against Mark Cuban, really.
Well, I'm also worried about what I'm worried about more recent, like right now stuff. Midterms coming up around, I guess, October, right? Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the fact that they've already beta tested stealing some elections. They've bust people in with the Roy Moore thing. They bust people into Pennsylvania, steal that one. They're stealing elections and they're beta testing it to see if they can steal those. And of course, they got the electronic thing where they count one side of the vote about 0.7, and then they count the other side of the vote about 1.3 or 4.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's going on electronically. I mean, it's unbelievable if people don't know that or understand that yet. I mean, we're winning by a landslide, and we're only winning 56%. That's ridiculous. Everybody wants populism. Everybody does. It's unreal. And I'm on a mission to make this place great again. We've got to. We got to turn it back. I can't believe that this county went for Hillary Clinton in the last election. Unfreaking believable.
I'm honestly not surprised.
You
I'm
got
not
it.
wrong.
You cannot. Good God Almighty. You got Podesta the molester and everybody else, the spirit cooking. You know what Hillary did? I mean, she hangs crack pipes on the Christmas tree, trying to defile everything. She goes to witches' meetings. And I hate to like say that Hillary's the bad person or whatever, but how in the hell did we vote for her? I didn't. I'd never vote for that bitch.
Well, I'm telling you, man, there are a lot of people out there that this country is really going.
How do we turn it back?
You don't.
Yeah, you
don't.
do.
They have to learn. They have to learn the hard way, and those lessons are never going to come to them because.
Oh, homie, I
listen,
don't want.
man,
No. I don't want the hard way.
It's all about where the information comes from. I'm telling you, it's all about the institutions. The institutions control people's minds. They really do.
That's it, and that's why I said defund education earlier, because they're indoctrinating instead of educating. Teach people to think, please.
Yep, they're indoctrinating instead of educating. So is the TV. You know, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Like they're just going to have to learn the hard way. There's no like this place has no future, really. I mean,
yes, it does.
It's just gonna,
we are the future. We are the new Atlantis. We're there at the Atlantean moment. You know that? We're right here. We either destroy ourselves or we actually have a breakthrough and move forward. We're right there. We either destroy ourselves.
Western Europe is fucked.
We are the West. We're it.
Not for much longer.
Hey. Hey. Let's play it. I'm playing it. I'm playing it. Here we go. We're at the Black Gate.
I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day. An hour of wolves and shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day.
Tolkien was genius.
This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West!
Fucking A, right? Oh man, sorry. Get a little emotional sometimes. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright. Had to pull the Aragorn quote. Had to march on the Black Gate real quick.
Huh.
Every now and then, man, that gets me pumped up, dude. I'm serious, man. That brings tears to my eyes. Tolkien was a genius. He saw it way before it started happening, too. He knows all about it. He knew all about it. When Gandalf was walking around Dol Guldur, he's like, oh, it's an illusion. He starts, like, slamming the staff down, breaking the spell. And then there it was, Sauron, walking right out of the eye. It's not just some kind of random thing. No, it's not. It's all, I think it's all real. Hell, Darwin, I think Darwin, when he wrote his Origin of Species, he went and had hallucinations for days. Just off the meter.
Huh.
And Darwin was incorrect, by the way. He was wrong on a lot of his evolution stuff. And they all want to push Darwinism because basically Darwinism is survival of the fittest. And survival of the fittest is they're the fittest and they're going to cut your throats. Now, guess what?
That's not entirely true.
Guess what? They're not the fittest. And if they tried to cut my throat, they wouldn't be doing it themselves or they'd lose. They'd get somebody else to do it for them. It's just about the money. They're using the money.
Really said Darwin was never really about survival of the fittest. He was more about survival of
Oh, sorry.
the species that is the most responsive to change. Basically, this whatever species could adapt the quickest to change.
Okay. Do you think that we are not? Do you think we're too complacent, or are we able to figure it out? And I think that's a big...
Yeah, there's certainly no. I mean, it's amazing what we've been able to figure out. Like, we're able to understand how the universe works. That's amazing.
We're at a place right now that we either figure out what's going on or we're going to lose. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're right here on the balance. Do you think that we can figure it out? You say you don't think so. At least that's what I've gathered up to this point.
I think unless we have genetic engineering, like genetic therapy, that allows people to synthetically alter their IQ, it'll never happen.
What the hell? Wait. Synthetically alter their IQ. How do
That's
you?
right.
You mean like get smarter?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been.
And I think we need to force it on people. Like I think a lot of people may need.
Oh, let's not get authoritarian now. Hold on. So basically, you're saying that I know that we've been beat down and hit by so many things that have reduced our IQ in general. Unless you've been doing supplements and things on the side, you don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. You're kind of clueless walking around and you don't even care about anybody other than yourself. And why do you even care about yourself? Because you're a zombo and you shouldn't be a zombo. But I'm not saying that, not about you. I'm saying like the general population. And it's unfortunate to see. I don't think we need to go in that direction. More so, we need to go in the direction of getting all the crap out of the food and the water and just having real food and water again. And then also the supplements, man. Push the supplements because we need it.
If you get rid of industrialized agriculture, suddenly now you're not producing enough food for everybody to eat.
No, I'm not talking about industrial. Look, I'm talking about things that have been just sprayed with everything and messed up and left and right. The organic stuff is what you need to be getting. Of course, Bezos has tried to take control of that with Amazon buying Whole Foods and everything else. But no, just get organic and do it that way. And also start getting supplements. And I think if you do all of that, you kind of get back on par where you're supposed to be. God, I was losing it before I got the supplements and everything else. Before I started doing all this stuff, I was like falling apart. It was bad. I was 40 pounds overweight. I mean, it was stupid. And then like, okay. And I was wondering why the kids were so stupid. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, why are you trying to cut yourself in the middle of class? You know, that kind of stuff. Like, wow, really? This is what I'm dealing with? We're going downhill, guys. We're going downhill. And then I started doing the fish oil, flax, started going more towards organic stuff. Hey, turned me around quickly. And then I understood that it was a purpose push to make sure that we're all dumb and stupid and flailing around, not even able to do anything, like a fish out of water flopping around. It's on purpose, man. And that's what pisses me off the most. That's what pisses me off the most and sends me directly towards whoever I'm talking to right now. I know somebody's listening. Look here, you son of a bitch. Stop it. You know? That's where I get to.
Yeah.
And I hate to be like that. I hate to be angry and mean and mad. But damn it, I get it. Most people don't get it. Don't see that that's what's going on. It took me a little while. And I'm not the smartest person in the world or the greatest in the world at all. Hell, I'm an idiot. You know, I'm walking around and I can figure it out. So you kind of think, hey, man, maybe y'all can figure it out too, right? You hope. But it's on purpose. It's by design. And the actually, my mom did raise me. Because until I was able to drive, she was there at the house, able to take care of me and do everything that I was doing and make sure that I was okay. You don't have that anymore. Both parents have to work at all hours. The family is broken. Good luck. Good luck having 2 kids on top of that. 3 kids? Wow.
Yeah.
And it's broken on purpose.
Yep.
And that's horrible.
It is.
What do? You send your kids off to daycare. School. And then they get indoctrinated with a bunch of garbage shit. And then you have to at night, if you have time to talk to them, you have to undo 8 hours of programming.
Yeah, which is very difficult to do. I mean, it's just like the Soviet state.
And that's why I say defund the schools.
Yep.
Until they get it together. Just like the Soviet state. Yeah, go, man. I gotta go back from real quick. Go.
I was going to say, it's just like the Soviet state where the school system would try to get the the kids to report on the parents. Try to get the kids to inform on their own parents about whatever the parents were doing, if it was, something that the party didn't like. But we're here again, except now in the West.
Oh man, I saw people today recording their kids, right? Recording their kids doing Easter stuff. Still there?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I I saw people today. We were riding by, and they were recording their kids doing Easter stuff, right? Like doing the scooter or whatever outside the driveway, and they were just recording that to post it on social media. Their kid wasn't really doing the scooter. They weren't really there enjoying it. They were recording their kid doing the scooter for a couple of minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
They weren't really doing that. It's complete bullshit.
I mean, people do a lot of that to convey to other people that, hey, this is me and this is what my life is. I mean, they do it just to make others jealous.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's all about signaling. That's what it's all about.
And when I do this, I don't do anything to make anybody jealous. Hell, I really was hanging in the diner today. I was really just chilling there watching whatever. Trying the best I could to deal with whatever I could deal with. I mean, everybody's getting older, man. It's not cool, but it's okay. I love everybody. But to be driving by and watching people like, yeah, no. I went live today for most of my afternoon. What was I doing? I had the door open with the screen door across. It was awesome. I had Steve Quayle, Tyler Quayle, and Doug Hagman I was listening to. They referenced Alex Jones several times on it too. It was kind of funny. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole talk. And they talked about It was just, I mean, it took me to church too. They also went towards God, always.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is, I'm debating the transhumanism stuff. Like, on the one hand, I can see how it's kind of fucked up. On the other hand, I can also see if we don't do it, we wind up with a equally dystopian future where everybody is basically retarded. And it's like idiocracy. And then we go extinct. So, you know, I don't know.
Well, transhumanism as far as merging with machines.
Yeah, basically, because in reality, what it basically boils down to is the nations that are not fucked up because they're just more competent. They're more mentally competent nations.
Right, we're not in the Stone Age, basically.
And they don't. Yeah, like.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's not only that, but
look at where the lights
all things are equal. It boils down to mental competency.
Look at where the lights are on overhead from space. Look at where the lights are
on. And yeah, that's a huge part of it. But I mean, like, you know, one of the things that can throw a wrench into that whole thing is if you're living under an authoritarian regime, for example, like North Korea.
Well, I'm sure the capital of North Korea, right? Pyongyang or whatever. Yeah, the lights are on there. That's about the only place. You know.
But, I mean, you look right across the border in a free regime, and the GDP per capita is enormous. It's some of the highest in the world.
Yeah.
The West is never
right at Seoul, right?
Even
South Korea, right there.
The West is not going to be able to match that because the mental competency is just not there. And so, if we don't do these things where we are genetically modifying people or externally modifying people through high technology, you know, enabling people to have a better memory, to have a better reasoning ability, to do math and basic reasoning.
Wait, you sound like a progressive instead of a regressive. You sound like
if you don't do these things, you're going to wind up in a situation where your people are starving and you're living in a shithole.
That's right. Touchdown! Ding 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 ding! We've got a winner. The Zelda thing just went off on my phone, unlocking the secrets. My God. And that's not even a hard secret. That's an obvious one. Should be obvious to everybody. Right?
It's not obvious to everybody. A lot of people would debate me about it, but I think
who? Bring them. I mean, good God.
A lot of liberals would debate me about that. But the problem is they're too arrogant to admit it. But there's a lot of stuff that they don't know. I think a lot of liberals don't like to admit that they don't know something, or that they're wrong, or they don't like to admit when they're wrong, or that they don't know something.
Oh man, that's it too. I've seen that too. When they're wrong, they just shut you down. They shut you up. Me, when I'm wrong, I'm like, oh, wait a second. Ah, yeah, you're right about that. You know what? Yeah, that makes a little bit of sense. And I kind of turn, hey, you know, yeah, that makes more sense. And I will talk to people. They will not talk to you. They'll just shut it down, like, and just stomp off or whatever.
It displays to an extent. It displays
whatever, man.
The superiority of their belief system.
Hey, man, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I get it. I'm not like too proud to say that, you know, hey, I messed up there. I got it. My bad.
A lot of it is how closely they entangle their belief system with their own identity.
That might be it too. Because hey, I'm not a belief system. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I am an evolving character. I'm getting better all the time. I'm actually progressing instead of regressing. Like,
that's
the upside down world regressive left.
In the personality trait of you versus an SJW, an SJW has the personality traits that put them there.
Well,
So that's probably why you're not an SJW, is because you don't have that personality type.
Do you think that's genetic?
Yeah, personality is to a large extent genetic. It is, and it's impossible to change. Almost impossible.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, man.
That's something that you're born with. Like if you have high neuroticism, you're born with that. You're stuck with it. I mean, you can go to therapy, you can try to get it changed, but
Fuck going to therapy. They don't know what you're going through your head, man. Fuck that. I don't ever like to.
I mean, that's right. I mean, the bottom line is therapy is not.
You know what's going through your head, not them. Not them.
It's really not very effective. I mean, really, what they try to do when you go to a psychological talk therapy, you just sit there and you talk to them, and then eventually, when you talk long enough, you start to orbit around something that's bothering you, and that thing that you orbit around is what is.
Ain't nobody had enough gravity for me. I'm the one that's got the most gravity in the room, and I'm happy to get the fuck out of there. I went to 6 weeks of little meetings. I told you about that shit. Oh my god. Yeah. Had some guy trying to, some girl that wanted to chop some guy's pecker off because he cheated on somebody else, not even her, and locked him in a trunk, chased after him with the weed whackers. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's not for me. It's like,
some of that, ironically, some of that is mirroring. Like those people grow up in that environment, and they mirror the behavior, and they think they're supposed to act like that. But another part of it is, when you're low IQ, you also believe that you're supposed to mirror that.
Well, that's not a place that I need to be in. That's not a discussion I need to be a part of. I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening, man? Are you serious?
Well, this is, I mean, what it really is punishment.
That's exactly it. It was punishment. I served my time. That's, golly, Moses. I guess I'll serve whatever I need to serve. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen again. I don't know. Anyway, what are you going to say? Holy shit. At this point, God, I've been through hell. I know I've lost some people along the way, too. That's tough, man. Losing friends? Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come back. I don't know. I'm not a different person. I'm the same person. Yeah. Going through that shit was crazy. And I can't talk to them on any kind of level. They don't. Any of the people that were in there, they don't know what the hell was really going on. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of people you just can't talk to about things.
I could have talked to them and told. I did. I talked to them and told them everything, but they were still so off the meter that it was like they were in a different. They were in a different solar system. It's like, what the hell? What are you trying to do? I just messed up once, man. I'm sorry. Shit. My bad.
The fact of the matter is, when you want to change minds, you confront people with something that they don't expect, and that's how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not an easy thing to do. You have to know. You have to have a very good understanding of the person's mindset and what they expect versus what they don't, and then you have to think of something that is unique and original in a way to confront them. Like it's not easy. People tend to put other people and their arguments into boxes, something that they already know and understand. And once you're in that box, you're confined to that box. They're not going to listen to you. They're going to go off what they think of you.
All right. I want to cut that part there, and I kind of want to spin it to something else completely, just to see how good are you at Civil War.
I know a little bit.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know the most about?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, like the American Civil War is what I was asking. I think as far as American history and then the Civil War as well. Basically, I want you to tell me a story, the best thing that you got.
A story about the Civil War?
Well, what the hell would I do with a cannon? No, not Barrett Swan. No, I just, if you I know a little bit about it myself. If you got something that's even stronger, I don't know.
Yeah.
You got anything Scotland-wise? I want you to tell me a story.
Let me think. I think of a good one.
Scotland? Do you know anything like William Wallace story?
I mean, you may already know all the stories.
I don't know as much. You know more. As far as details go, you know more. I know the general stuff.
Well, the movie wasn't very accurate. They oversimplified the battle scenes. You probably know that. That should be obvious. They didn't just meet on a field like that. Like they fought on a bridge. I can tell you, if you want some really crazy shit.
They fought on a bridge, like Zhang Fei style, like the. Do you know,
That's right, and the way that they were successful. And this
do you know about the Chinese, like the Zhang Fei and the Battle of the Bridge?
You're talking about in the Manchurian War?
I think so.
The Sino-Japanese War?
There's like the battle for China all the way back. I got this thing called Dynasty Warriors that I play on Xbox, okay, but it's like a video game. But basically, you play for ruling all of China, and there's Liu Bei, which is kind of like the people's guy, and there's Cao, I don't know, Cao or whatever, and there's Zun Shi, or I don't know. But you basically fight red, blue, and green. Liu Bei is the people's guy. He's the green guy. And Zhang Fei met one of the great generals. This is a real war that happened, too, by the way. I've looked it up a little bit, but I don't know much. That's why I said I want you to fill in the gaps for me, man.
I don't know as much about Chinese history as I wish I did.
But
I know a little bit about the Sino-Japanese War.
Zhang Fei was one of the great generals, and he met this guy on the bridge, and they could not cross the bridge because he held the bridge. I mean, it was like a 300 event, like Thermopylae event, like Leonidas. I mean, it was one of those. It's just epic. I don't know. Tell me something like that. I don't know. What do you got about Scotland? You got about the American Revolution? Hell, retell the, I don't know, anything.
I was going to tell you about the Battle of Stirling Bridge in Scotland.
Do it.
And the Scots were vastly outmatched.
Give me a date. What date is this? When is this happening?
This is what, 1298 or 1304 or something like that. It's in there. It's at the
Middle Ages.
It's at the turn of the 14th century.
This is awesome.
And yeah, I don't remember the exact date.
Okay.
But basically, the English are going in there, and they just they have a vastly superior military. They have guys that they have like a whole bunch of knights, mounted knights, and heavy cavalry, and a huge force of infantry, and they just have the thing that if they were met on equal footing on the battlefield, the English would have almost certainly won. But what the Scots did is they didn't even, I don't even know if they were consciously aware of it, but they did it, and I think it was by design, but I don't think that they understood the abstraction. But it's something called defeat in detail. And basically what you do is you focus on smaller components of an enemy force while it's scattered and broken up. When you can focus all of your force overwhelmingly on that smaller piece. That's called defeat in detail, and that's what they did. So the English crossed half their army over the bridge,
so you beat the shit out of somebody, and you let them know that happened.
You basically beat the shit out of a smaller part of that force, because it's much easier to do it that way. And then you go to the other part and you beat the shit out of that. And that's one of the things that Napoleon was very good at. It's also one of the reasons why the Civil War lasted as long as it did.
This is awesome.
Because the Army of Northern Virginia was able to just do that over and over and over for the Army of the Potomac during the American Civil War.
Yes.
It's called defeat in detail, and that's what the Scots did at the Battle of Stirling Bridge. The English crossed they very arrogantly crossed half their army across the bridge, thinking that they wouldn't be attacked. The Scots came out of the woods and slaughtered the guys the first half of the army that made it across the field. The second half of the army couldn't get into the combat, so they were just completely ineffective. And the Scots slaughtered the first half, and then they were able to slaughter the second half, and stop the English from progressing over the bridge in the second half.
By that method?
By that method, they cut off the first half, separated them from the other half, and then they were able to use defeat in detail. So they basically just focus fire on the part that's cut off, and with that you're able to usually win.
Good luck crossing the bridge.
Good luck crossing the bridge. Yep, and that's how the Scots won Stirling Bridge.
That is awesome. Oh my God.
Defeat in detail is the most tried and true effective military stratagem out there. If you're able...
Well, everybody's just getting killed all around you, and everybody's just dying. You don't want to... Yeah, you're done.
Well, one of the prerequisites is that your army has to be very, very fast. That is one of the prerequisites. Your army you have to hit hard and move fast.
Is that the cavalry and the Patriot? Like Fathington?
Yeah. Yep.
He was just like, hey, let's go. Now that we got it, let's go.
That's also how the Germans won an Operation Barbarossa.
Mm-hmm.
They just tore up the Russians. Like,
wait.
100,000 Germans could surround a million Russians and perform that. And
what is Operation Barbarossa?
The Russians had probably superior tanks than the Germans, but they were just completely ineffective. They were fortified. They were just overwhelmed by the rapid mobility of the German army and how well they were organized.
If you can move and you're organized, that's it.
Yep, that's right. If you can, and that's exactly like in the opening salvos of the American Civil War in 1862. That's exactly what Stonewall Jackson did to the Army of the Potomac. They were called the foot cavalry because they were able to move around so quickly. I had an ancestor actually that was in the foot cavalry, and they tore it up, man. Like, they went from battle to battle to battle, and they just moved, like, they would hit on one side, like a Chancellorsville, hit on one side and then move around and hit on the other.
Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy. Man. It's been fun to talk to you. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and play it out. I don't know. And then I'll stay with you for a second afterwards. But wait.
If Uncle Jesse was here, he wouldn't play these games. My whole childhood's fading cause there's too much change. Old number one was fun, the best guy. Boys having fun every Friday night. Stars and bars on the roof.